smokers, folks, this ain't no dang jokers. The horror movie is not over yet. No, the horror movie is not over yet. I don't know if you guys have seen, but stocks are set to crash even worse tomorrow. Futures just opened up very recently. Not huge moves in the Dow or S&P or NASDAQ, although they're all down. But Russell is supposed to open down 1.5%. Now, obviously, we'll see what happens here, but it's not looking pretty. I wrote on the chart here, if the Russell doesn't get worse or doesn't get better between now and when the market opens, we should be somewhere in that level. There's a few things we got to talk about in this video, okay? Here's one of the craziest things. The Russell could end up finishing down for the year. Now, it's not something like out of this or, like craziest thing if the Russell's down, because the Russell can be down every once in a while, right? You can have a down year. But for the Russell to be down in a year when the market's up, in a pretty good amount, right? S&P 500 and NASDAQ, that is crazy. Like the NASDAQ's had a great year. S&P 500's had a great year. The Dow's had a great year. But once again, why has that happened? This whole market's been carried by the big dogs. Apple, Google, Microsoft, those sorts of companies have carried this market on its back. The large caps, right? And meanwhile, the small caps, people are like, when does this horror movie end? If you've been buying small caps, so this, year, right? And you're just like, my gosh, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And I've said, I don't feel safe until we're out of December, right? I know a lot of folks have been excited recently, like, hey, we're coming back. I do not feel safe until this month is over. And from what I see, we still got another week and a half of the market basically being open in this month. I don't feel safe till this month is over, flat out. If we go back to 2018, this year, this whole market we're in right now reminds me so much of 2018, except that was every single stock got absolutely destroyed. This is just small cap stocks have gotten destroyed, but actually worse than that year, which is very, very interesting. Small cap stocks have gotten way hit way harder, but large caps have held up way better than that year. But remember, the market didn't start going up that year until December 26, all right? Just because it was Christmas Eve didn't mean it had to be a good day in the market. That was a horrible day. I remember going to the movies and I remember seeing stocks down 7%, 5%, 8% left and right. And I'm talking about mids and large caps even, not just small caps, right? It was disaster. And, right now we're in a sort of market that was reminding me a lot of that. Now, keep in mind, large caps could continue to fall into January. I think there's a lot of profit. There are folks that want to take some profits in those stocks and redistribute that money, but they're looking at that and they're like, okay, if I take a profit right now, right? Let's say you want to take a profit in an Apple stock and you want to distribute that money somewhere else where you see a great opportunity. If you take that profit now, get ready to pay tax here in a few months, right? Versus wait 2 weeks, take that profit in 2 weeks on Apple, Google, whatever stock that you want to redistribute money into, some other beaten down dog stocks, right? And then you don't have to pay the tax man for a year and 4 months. Isn't that beautiful, right? Isn't that beautiful? And so I think large caps could continue to actually downtrend into potentially January. And so as far as that pain goes, that could still happen, right? As far as the small cap pain, I feel like we're much closer to a bottom than we are to a top. But at the end of the day, I don't feel safe. Flat out, I don't feel safe until this month is over. And that just because, once again, once this month is over, doesn't mean that necessarily, small caps to the moon and we're flying up high. I think there's a much higher probability that starts to happen as soon as this month is over, and maybe even happens in the last few trading days. But the flat out honest truth is I don't feel safe until we are out of the month of December. Flat out, okay? I've always worried about even more tax loss harvesting on these stocks. At the end of the day, when these stocks just get beaten down, at some point they're going to bottom, but I just don't feel safe until this month is over. Flat out. I'm going to use the rest of this month to probably go all in the market, to be honest, like I've said many times, and I'm going to likely be all in the market by the end of this month. And it is what it is. I'm just putting my chips on the table where I see the opportunities. And, after that, it will be what it's going to be. But, this is just a nasty time for small caps, And as far as large go, they could still get hit, not just, over the next few weeks, they could get hit into January. And so do pay attention to that. And don't be surprised if a lot of large caps fall in the month of January. Don't be surprised. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it would not shock me at all, because I can tell you, I know, human psychology, and there's, I think there's some folks that want to take some profits, but they're looking at it like, why am I going to take a profit now? I'll wait 2 weeks. Is Apple really going to fall that much in 2 weeks? I don't know. Maybe it could, but why not get to play with that money for a year and 4 months and cash some shares in January, right? So anyways, guys, that's this video. Yeah, it's getting uglier out there. At some point, this is going to end. I'm going to keep covering this drama for you guys. We got, the drama's getting closer to an end, but it's not over yet. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you're not. This is where I come out with some random videos like this at, random times and cover random subjects that are going on in the market. Much love as always, and peace.